Welcome back to this poem session once again, my dear friends. In this session, I'm going to give you a poem that is from the book called Flamingo of Class 12 CBSE. The name of the poem is Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. So dear students, we start right from the poet and it will be followed by the recitation of the poem and then theme, and it will be followed by the summary of the poem and then poetic devices. It will be followed by the word meanings, and finally I'll give you the question and answers from the poem. So I hope that you will enjoy this session very much, right? So we start with the poet. Poet. Pablo Neruda was the pen name of Ricardo Eliezer Neftali Raisi Basualto, born in Parral of Chile in 1904 on 12th July. This Chilean poet and politician chose his pen name after Czech poet Jan Neruda. Neruda wrote in various styles such as love poems, as in his collection 20 poems of love and a song of despair, surrealist poems, historical epics, and political manifestos. In 1971, Neruda won the Nobel Prize for Literature. Colombian novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez once called him the greatest poet of the 20th century in any language. Neruda always wrote in green ink, as it was his personal color of hope. In this poem, the poet talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of understanding among human beings. This great poet died on 23rd September in 1973. Right? So dear friends, I come to the next part, that is the recitation of the poem. I will recite the poem and I hope that you will enjoy this. Keeping Quiet by Ricardo Eliezer Neftali Raisi Basualto. Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. For once on the face of the earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for 1 second and not move our arms so much. It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engines. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. Those who prepare green wars, wars with gas, wars with fire, victory with no survivors, would put on clean clothes and walk about with their brothers in the shade, doing nothing. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. I want no truck with death. If we were not so single-minded about keeping our lives moving, and for once could do nothing, perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves and of threatening ourselves with death. Perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Now, I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So dear friends, that was the recitation of the poem. I come to the next part, that is the theme of the poem. The theme. In this poem, the poet urges the people of the earth to stop all the activities and remain silent for a few moments. These moments of inactivity will bind us together with a cord of silence, a universal language. The poet talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a sense of mutual understanding among the people of the earth. Right? So we come to the next part. That is the summary of the poem. I will give you the summary stanza-wise, and every stanza will have its own heading. So first stanza, the heading will be Keeping Quiet. The poet urges us to keep quiet and count up to 12. Now stanza 2, Language of Silence. He urges that at least once we should not speak any language on the surface of the earth. He pleads with us to stop for a second without any movement. Now stanza 3, Exciting and unusual moment. He feels that this moment of silence would be extraordinary without any rush or noise. We would be together in a sudden strangeness of silence. Stanza 4. Harmless world. The fisherman wouldn't kill the whales in the cold sea, and the toiling man gathering salt would have an opportunity to take care of his hurt hand in this moment of silence. Stanza 5. To the warmongers. The warmongers should stop destroying Mother Earth. They must stop using obnoxious gases and firearms. They must stop the wars which leave no survivors. They should be attired in clean clothes and walk hand in hand with their brothers in the shade of silence, doing nothing else. Stanza 6. No misunderstanding. The poet does not want us to be confused about momentary silence and total inactivity. He does not mean death by total inactivity. Life remains to be what we make of it. We need not desperately focus on doing mindless activity. At least for once, we should do nothing for our own betterment, and perhaps a long silence will save us from annihilation. Now stanza 7. Mother Earth, the greatest teacher. The poet reiterates that keeping quiet or stillness does not mean inactivity. The Mother Earth teaches us that though the earth seems to be quiet, it nurtures life. And the last stanza, that is stanza 8, the heading will be counting up to 12. Now the poet will once again count up to 12. All others will remain quiet, and then the poet will go away from there. So dear friends, that was the summary of the poem. I come to the poetic devices. Poetic devices play a very important role in any poem. In this poem also we have quite a number of poetic devices. Number 1, we will. This is alliteration because repetition of W sound. Face of the earth. This is synecdoche. Synecdoche means part for whole and whole for part. So here face of the earth. Face is the part of the body, so it can be called synecdoche. Face of the earth. It is personification. Not move our arms so much. This is once again synecdoche. We would. Alliteration. Sudden strangeness. Sibilance. It is actually alliteration, but the alliteration of soft sound is called sibilance. That means S is soft sound. Cold sea, it is transferred epithet. Not the sea, but the fisherman is cold. He does not feel bad about killing whales. Now, number 8, cold sea once again. It is metaphor. Metaphorically, cold sea signifies the coldness of the fisherman who hardly bothers killing whales. Number 9, wars. Wars with gas, wars with fire. Now wars, this word is repeated again and again. So it is repetition. Wars with. Number 10, wars with. It is alliteration. Number 11, victory with no survivors. This is hyperbole. That means exaggeration. I don't think that there will be a situation where there will be no survivor at all. So it can be hyperbole. Number 12, clean clothes, alliteration. 13, in the shade, metaphor. 14, the earth can teach us. It is personification. The earth is going to be the teacher. This is personification. Dear friends, now I come to the next section, that is word meanings. Number 1, face, that means surface. Exotic, exciting and unusual. Rush means hurry. Harm means kill. Rain wars means wars against environment. Wars with gas, that is using harmful gas in wars. Number 7, wars with fire, using firearms in wars. Number 8, in the shade, here in peace and harmony. Number 9, confused, that means misunderstood. Number 10, inactivity, that means not doing anything. Number 11, no track, that means no association. Number 12, single-minded, focused or determined for one particular thing, right? Number 13, huge silence, long silence. Number 14, interrupt, that means stop or disturb. Dear friends, I come to the last section of this video, that is think it out, that means question and answer. Question: what will counting up to 12 and keeping still will help us achieve? It will help us achieve an exalting moment of silence and stillness. It will create a strong sense of togetherness and brotherhood. It will evoke complete peace and silence. It will also decrease our sadness. Question number 2. Do you think the poet advocates total inactivity and death? Answer: no, I don't think that the poet advocates total inactivity and death. He himself said that we should not misunderstand him. He does not mean death by total inactivity. He advocates ceasing mindless and hostile human activities which may endanger our own existence. Next question, question number 3. What is the sadness that the poet refers to in the poem? By sadness, the poet refers to the tragedy of human beings never understanding the impending danger we are facing. Constant mindless man-made activities are threatening our own existence. Next, what symbol from nature does the poet invoke, that means appeal, to say that there can be life under apparent stillness? The poet strongly appeals to a powerful symbol of Mother Earth. Apparently, the earth seems inactive, but she remains at her work, silently nurturing life for millions of years. Right? So thank you, my dear friends, for being with me for so long. Thank you for watching this video. If you have liked this video, please share it, comment, and give your subscriptions and likes. It will always encourage me, and it always encourages me. Thank you. Have a very good day.